Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, the altcoin market, the XRP price chart, and we get ready for the U.S. stock market to open up here in the next few minutes as we get ready to see how the world is going to behave once things get going and the liquidity gets flooding through the markets this morning. We'll take a look, of course, over there at any type of crypto news that is going on today and any type of financial news today as Bitcoin's knocking on that $35,000 door. And today is Fed Day, or FOMC Day. So there will be a Fed meeting today at 2 p.m. Eastern is when they will release the Fed rate decision. Then Jerome Powell will come out to speak at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. We do start a live stream here on this channel 5 minutes before the Fed rate decision is released. And then we do sit here and chat for about a half an hour until Jerome Powell comes on. And then we just sit there and play Jerome Powell, and I go silent during that time, and we just watch the markets and see how Bitcoin reacts, and we see how the stock market reacts. But today, as we get started, it is November 1st. That means October has come to a close, and we got a banger of a green candle here for the month of October, up about 28.5% for the month of October for Bitcoin right in there. Let's go ahead and do a little measurement here on this guy. There you go, 28.4% or so. Now, if you remember, of course, we've talked a lot about this stuff heading into that. We can go back and look at that monthly candle from when that happened right back in there, back in 2020. That would be, let's get it right here. That would be this guy right here. This guy when he broke out, and I believe it was very similar in there. And, we can all sit here and pray and hope, hey, that's the future, right? Please. But we'll see. That one as well is about 27.8%. So they were very similar in size to end up happening in there. I'm not going to forecast that. 5 more incredible green candles will follow after that. But definitely a fantastic thing to see us get our way out of there. A little bit of volatility here in the morning. As I was sitting here waiting to go live, I saw Bitcoin's poking there above 25K. I saw you guys in the chat just like, whoa, here we go. You could see the total market cap was attempting to get its way out of there, but not quite so yet. But we'll see how things go throughout today. Today is expected to be a volatile day as the Fed is going to make their decision on their interest rate hike. We'll definitely touch on this again. We've tracked this kind of through all the different rate hikes in here with the federal funds rate of where it is, where the 2-year yield is, where the 10-year yield is. Expectations today are that the Fed will be paused, 99.2% probability. We'll go ahead and hit the refresh on that real quick just to see if it's updated. 99.2% probability they will be paused. We've watched this counter go down for a long time. It no longer says days on here. It only says 4 hours. So I said 2 p.m. Eastern. You can kind of do the math yourself right there. That's 4.5 hours from right now, wherever you live and whatever time it is where you are currently right now for 2 p.m. Eastern. But either way, there we go. Rock on. What a great month we had there for Bitcoin. And now we're just waiting for the rest of the market to follow through. So we'll go through these things really quick, and then we'll dive in. Of course, at the beginning of this stuff, of course, you guys can always check out bcbacker.com for 40 plus videos from me, 11 plus hours of content from me, teaching you about setting up your own charts and indicators, learning about like Wyckoff method and Elliott wave theory and historical behavior of the cryptocurrency market in regards to things that impacted prices better than like the top market caps and tokenomics, crowd behavior, understanding the bull runs and the alt seasons with downloadable spreadsheets. And then this one's kind of been a hit lately. The newsletter that I put out a few days ago, Decoding Altcoin Performance, a deep dive into developer data, talking about kind of like a case study was performed in here. I just posted a link in the chat. This is a premium newsletter, but this was going through the top 20 by developer activity versus the top 20 by market cap in 2020 to see who was the better performer, and diving to see if there's a statistical difference in there, and if they're, not just mediocre difference, or if it's significant. It did turn out to be significant. So we go through that, and I show all that in here as a 30-minute audio voice recording. And then we go through what are the top 20 currently right now by dev activities. You can check that out at blockchainbacker.substack.com. So, all right, now the question is, Bitcoin, are you going to gain any steam, or will the range continue? Look at that. We tried to get all the way above 35,000, pulling back again this morning. Again, expect volatility today because it's always volatile on Fed day. It's very rare that there's not. And also be prepared that right before the Fed meeting starts, we will see volatility start in the whole hours. So like the hour starting before the Fed, so at like 1 p.m. Eastern time, a lot of times we'll see this market start to do something. It'll start to trend one way, then some data will come out, and boom, it'll flop back the other way. And then it'll just kind of wobble all over the place, and then Jerome Powell will come out, and then we'll see it go another way, and then come back another way. So typically from about like 1 p.m. Eastern until the market closes, which is 4 p.m. Eastern time, it gets really wacky. And if there's any type of surprises that come out of that meeting, we'll usually see a lot of repricing in the market happening tomorrow. So just kind of keep an eye and have the expectations today could be a bumpy day, because they usually are. Still this thing. Oh no, I deleted that. Okay. It's not hard to put it back. Here's my little green box. Still waiting for if this market is going to show a divergence to emerge here. As we just saw, we did see Bitcoin in the green there, but we still saw a lot of the altcoin market in the red right now. You still got XRP above 60 cents, but still, kind of expecting, if this is the thing to be occurring in here, that this thing will just trend for the next month or so, that we could potentially see a divergence emerge in here. The other thing, of course, that's on my radar that has me, it's not keeping me up at night, but I'm not blind to it, is what we have shown over here for 2016 is just the dates at which we are, right? So we've tracked this thing to show that these pivotal moments have all happened, even hundreds of days later, happening within a couple hours of each other, that these peaks will come in or these breakouts will come in. And of course, we've still continued to follow along with this thing. And this, it's bizarre. Like, I'm not going to say like it's normal for us to do this, like, at all. This isn't normal to follow something on a time schedule like this. But it has for a couple of years. You would say this is actually off by a little bit. At least I would. Like in here, like still you're on the hour. You're on the hour to finally break out of that actual range. But it did take us a couple more weeks longer to escape our current range than it did last time. That was kind of the first one where like, okay, there was a little bit of a time difference in there. But you could see like this thing peaked like right around here, right? And then like everything started kind of falling down. And the equivalent thing would be later this week or into the weekend that, the juice kind of runs out. I don't think structurally we have that going on here, but I'm not blind to it that it's been like this. So still, we kind of have like a week or two to get through to be kind of like, hey, we're going to bypass that. So still keeping that on the radar in there. Like, right, these paints two totally different pictures of the cryptocurrency market. This one paints one where we have 7 more months of consolidating in this range that we should still hold on top of, $31,000 and just range in here for 7 more months, which I'm sure everybody is just absolutely fantasizing about after just completing doing that. But the other one, of course, paints, YOLO. I think we all want the YOLO. But this is still just on my radar, and I can't say it's going to break from it until it does. So hopefully that does become the case. But hey, what a killer month! Look at that, boy! What a pullback here in Bitcoin, back down about $600 or $700 after that knock up above 35,000 before the markets open. Let's go take a look and see what's going on in the U.S. stock market. So the stock market, it was really flat right before market opened. Like, we're talking 0 points. The S&P was up 0, and down 0, right? And so was the NASDAQ, and the Dow was down a couple of points. But it looks like it's a little bit improved with the markets now being open. Looks like you have NVIDIA leading the way this morning, followed by Microsoft and Netflix. And then the losers of the day, GE, United Health, and ARK. I don't think our heat map will get going until maybe 10 or 15 minutes into the morning. So I'll bring that heat map up once we get it, and we can get a better idea of if there's any particular sectors that are doing okay as the day kicks off. We can see yields are slightly down this morning, quite a decent amount, especially on the 20-year yield, 30-year yield, and 10-year yield. That's a pretty decent drop right there. We have this up right in here, so you could see that. A little bit of a red candle here on the 10-year yield as we get ready to find out if the Fed is going to pause and find out what their language is going to be. Are they still going to come out and be ridiculously hawkish with their pause? As you could see, we paused right here in June. Then they did a 25 basis point rate hike, or 0.25% added to the federal funds rate. Then they paused again, and the market does expect another pause. That means 3 out of the last 4 meetings will be a pause, with only one of them being a 25 basis point rate hike. So it's kind of what we're keeping our eyes on today to see what does the market do. But pretty much flat opening. Market doesn't seem to have any type of conviction here on which way to go before the Fed comes out and does what they're going to do. So we'll see. Let's hit a refresh on this. 99.2% probability still, right? So I always go with this. I don't know how the market's going to react to this. We always do it live, but I always try to say, like, I don't know how the market's going to react to it. And I'm not going to be able to, like, at the end of it, be like, oh, this is what this means. No, I'm going to have to give it a couple of days to let the market actually kind of digest whatever does happen after the Fed rate hike, or Fed pause, or Fed cut, or Fed pause with hawkish language, Fed pause with dovish language. Just kind of have to wait for this thing to conclude, and then we go from there. So that's what we'll watch for. DXY is saying, not today. We're heading, it's moving back up to the top of that range. It's back up near that 50% retracement once again this morning. So stronger move over there in the DXY. TXMC was showing me Japanese yen was taking a dive, and that seems to be a pretty big influence over here on the DXY right now, is what's going on with Japan. Over here with gold. So gold got through at 702 retracement last week. That's when we saw pop up above $2,000. Since then, pausing out, right? Given a pretty big fear on the stock market fall, right? We saw such huge moves over here in gold for the last 3 weeks, as the stock market has just been getting pummeled for 3 weeks. Of course, we know, like, inverse relationships between gold and between the United States stock market. If one of them goes into a bull market, the other one goes into a bear. So this one's over here threatening. But this week, fortunately, it has started to pause itself out. And hopefully we just get a catalyst that comes in today to save the day. Otherwise, looking over there at Bitcoin, looking at the total market cap, Bitcoin's at 34,500, and the total market cap, which attempted to do a little something today, but not today, or at least not right now, attempted to get shuffled its way out of this range. But boy, it was quickly knocked back after that happens, right? So we just watched that all happen, and let's put on 5-minute candles. There you go. That was the attempt of it happening just within the last 30 minutes, and then right back down it comes. So we'll see what happens. We're at such a critical level. It would make sense that there may be a market reaction today at with the Fed meeting. So, sometimes you say, does it mean anything today? Is there anything critical today? This is a pretty important level, and we do have an event happening today. So we'll see what comes of all of that. Ethereum, the same story. I mean, it's essentially just the total market cap, but a little bit more tilted. We've brought the Wyckoff accumulation on this guy too. I think people are sleeping on this. I think everybody's FOMOing on Solana. I'm not here to hate on Solana. I own Solana. You guys know it. I bought it down in the depths of despair where nobody wanted to touch it. But then now everybody's kind of FOMOing at it. And it's kind of funny to me too, just how the market is, how the market operates on such levels of fear. Remember back here, you have like 500,000 people who are like on Twitter saying FTX is going to dump all their assets, and everybody's like, I'm going to front run it. I'm going to dump all my assets first before FTX gets the chance to do it. Market rips to the upside, and the one that they're FOMOing over is Solana. It's like, oh, did your thoughts change, or did you just forget? But either way, I think, This is my speculative opinion on Solana. Of course, it has the same. We've talked about a lot. Same setup, long-term structure on it of like Ethereum did back in 2018, finding its bottom. But things that are always concerning about stuff that like have extreme venture capitalist investment in them is that VCs don't lose, but they also aren't here to make you rich. They turn on their marketing efforts, they turn on their FOMO, social media efforts to get y'all hyped up about it. But a lot of times they're just sending it to retraces so they can get their money back, and then they'll say, "Peace out, you're on your own." So we do know there's a lot of VC interest in Solana, and they could just be trying to get their money back. So I keep that in mind when it comes to Solana. There's no way I'll hold my whole bag attempting to get new all-time highs or anything like that. But it's been a good ride, a really good ride. From the lows, but everybody's kind of starting to get excited about it now. Well, because prices are up. Why does price go up? Because people are buying. Why are people buying? Because price goes up. All right. So total still struggling. 1.25 trillion, unable to get out. XRP sitting right there over 60 cents. XRP kind of cool yesterday. Again, like I put out a video yesterday. I think it's due to the request that from the person in markets in the morning who said, "Hey, could we get an XRP video?" I was like, "Well, it's just going to be the same old stuff." But obviously, it got the daily close there above all daily closes throughout the last year and a half, and then mentioned, "Hey, it'd just be kind of cool to see it. Could we get a daily close above all of our wicks for the last year and a half?" And well, we got that one too. Obviously, this is our SEC stuff, but this is all organic, right? This is not news driven. This is just market liquidity pushing the whole market up, and XRP is moving along with it, and that's great to see. So hey, we got it. It closed above even all the wicks, not just the daily candle closes, but we got to close above all wicks as well yesterday with yesterday's daily close over there on XRP. So as we go to today, everything. We can go look at financial news all we want, but the cold, hard reality is it is all about the Fed today. It is all about the Fed meeting at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll jump through the news here really quick, and then we'll hop into the chat, and then all eyes on really what happens this afternoon. And of course, we'll live stream that together. So the Treasury details plans to step up its size of bond sales to manage their growing debt load and higher rates. That's cool. Drunken Miller says government needs to stop spending like drunken sailors and cut entitlements. Stanley Drunken Miller says stock investing is going to be really tough the next 10 years. Yeah, I could probably agree with that. Bloomberg says U.S. companies add fewer jobs than forecast. WeWork shares sink after report it plans to file for bankruptcy. WeWork, man, that was like the big one of hype. Yeah. You got to love PTW, man. She's always on top of it. We are 17 minutes into this video, and we haven't even frogged it up yet. On a Wednesday. If you're new to this, if you're like, "Hey, this channel is supposed to be really serious. We're supposed to like really play, really good content in here." Well, this is really good content, but on Wednesdays we do like have a good time. We're halfway through the week, you guys. If you're sitting in your cubicle or if you're swinging your hammer today out at the job site, guess what? You're halfway done. We're almost there to the weekend. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, dudes.
There we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We always try to have fun on Wednesdays. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. And you know what? I hope you had a good Halloween. I hope you guys, if you got kids, man, I hope you loaded it up. I hope you got some cute pictures, and that the kids had a great time. My kids had an absolutely wonderful time. And that's all it is. As a parent, you're just walking around all over the entire town, practically. Your feet are sore at the end of the night, but your kids are just like saying they had such a great time, and that, that's what makes it worth it, right? So, welcome to November, right? Now it starts to become Christmas season. That's what's up. Or holiday season. And not everybody celebrates Christmas. I celebrate Christmas. Holiday season. But for us, man, Christmas, let's go. Thanksgiving. All right, U.S. companies add fewer jobs than. All right, back to financial news. All right, U.S. companies add fewer jobs than forecast. ADP data shows. WeWork shares. Yeah, WeWork, man, that was like one of the 2021 hype bubbles. Druckenmiller warns U.S. debt will crowd out innovation, and private equity slump propels a firm that's ready to offer cash. Okay, Cointelegraph over here. AI chatbots are legally ripping off copyrighted news. Bitcoin price gets 36K FOMC target as Bitcoin prints 29% October gains. I don't know why it would get a 36K FOMC target, but okay. I mean, that would make sense if you're doing something like this, right? I mean, you just kind of, boom. I guess we did. We got a little bit of a new high in there, didn't we? No, just kind of hit the heights that it's already been at. So you expect a lot of that. Slumdog Billionaire, incredible rags to riches tale of Polygon's Sandeep Nailwall. Three things we might see from crypto as 2023 winds to an end. Bitcoin futures data highlights investors' bullish view, but there's a catch. All right, closing arguments in Sam Bankman-Fried's trial will begin. October was Uptober. Boy, they're really running with that today, aren't they? I don't know why I didn't put it in the title. It's obviously so clever. Bitcoin safe haven status bolstered by Treasury underperformance. Turkey in final stage of bringing crypto legislation as last step to get off FAFT's gray list. Okay. That's your news. There's nothing, right? This is what matters. This is your news today. Right, but it doesn't make good headlines, right? So what are you going to write on the front page of CNBC or on the front page of Bloomberg? Like, hey, we're all just waiting on the Fed to do something because there's a bunch of bots and a bunch of hedge funds who are ready to hit buy and sell based on what that says, and then it'll trigger stops in each direction, and we're all just kind of waiting on that. Because that's what we're all doing. That's what today's wait is, and then we'll see if the market there's kind of a warning just based on what we always see is that a lot of times this market, like I said earlier, in the hour leading up to it, this market will kind of start to price itself right before it happens. And you just can't trust really any moves today. Really, the time we get excited or like the time we'll play the frog or something like that is if we can get through the whole meeting. And then at the end of the meeting, when Jerome's speaking, if the Dow is up like 500 points or something, if Bitcoin goes to like 36 or 37K or something like that, right? And again, 36 to 37K, I don't think is going to be a breakout for Bitcoin. I think it's still going to be, this, but a move up in the Dow, a move up in the total market cap, like seeing Ethereum breakout or something like that. We'll frog it up. We'll frog it up real hard, but we have to earn the frog when it comes to the Fed meetings. Because we get it's a pretty big viewership during those. It's like 3,000, 3,500 people. I always consider that audience is probably a little bit more like, I don't know, are they more serious or something? Like, and we're like, screw it, we're playing the frog over. I don't know. But yeah, so we have to earn the frog during the Fed meetings. It's kind of the rule. But we freely flow the frog here during markets in the morning on Wednesdays. Otherwise, that's kind of what we're all waiting on today, and that's when you'll get a much longer stream from me today. The stream's usually about an hour and a half long, and that will start at 1:55 p.m. Eastern time. And I've been getting better. If you've noticed this week, I've really kind of tried to set these streams up to be ready before we go live, rather than me just kind of randomly showing up 1 or 2 minutes before the markets open. So I kind of try to set the stream up and have it prepared for you guys to click on. And I'll do that for the Fed meeting too. So I'll have that probably up and ready over an hour before the Fed meeting starts, so you know where to hang out at. Otherwise, guys, just kind of waiting on that to happen in here. Nothing, a little bit of excitement there, an attempt there for Bitcoin. Looks like it totally failed for any type of substantial move happening in there. Things are still the same, but like we talked about this week, just waiting for total market cap to break out, waiting, all this washing machine that's going to happen while the total market cap is attempting to get out of here, if it's ready to do it or not. And the Fed meeting today has the potential to be a catalyst. and we'll see if we end up getting it from that. So that's really it. Everybody is going to be keeping their eyes on this to see what happens here, and like this is the expectation, right? There's going to be a pause, and we will know 3 out of the last 4 have been a pause. The question is, is he going to like say, hey, we've noticed a little bit of underlying weakness because the stock market's been like, we're not happy. And, will he come in and reassure markets to give it a little bit of a bounce in here, right? And, technically speaking, that's a 3 flow wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Flow 1, flow 2, flow 3. We've had them all. There's your bullish divergence, right? At the end of your flow. So, I mean, it's due for some type of bounce. But will he come in and give a little bit of reassurance for the market to do that? And so that would be an appropriate thing. So will he come in and say, hey, higher for longer, doom to finance? Will he come in and be like, hey, you know what? We're noticing some stuff and we may be adjusting in the future, right? So that's what's up. Otherwise, I think that pretty much covers it. So you got a mixed market over here in the morning. Dow at this point, now that it's been open for a little while, 37 points to the upside. S&P up 14 points. NASDAQ up 86. NDXT technology sector is up 0.25% this morning. And NASDAQ's up about 0.5%, 1/3% for the S&P, and 0.13% for the Dow Jones. And let's see if we have a heat map. I'll give you guys the heat map. And then there we go. There's your heat map. It looks like only healthcare is the one that's taken the beating today. Otherwise, home improvement, footwear, travel services, specialty, lodging, apparel. Otherwise, everything's kind of mixed. Sectors that are green are tech, right? And communication services and semiconductors. So mainly the main one that is completely in red is over here: healthcare and home improvement and specialty, like all these little ones down here. So there you go. That's what the market looks like this morning as we get ready to kick it off and as we wait for Fed Day. So be prepared for that, 2 p.m. Eastern time today. If you're sitting at your cube or if you're over there swinging the hammer on the job site or something like that, just pop your earbud in and listen to the show. And then, you'll hear me say, hey, here we go. Or, oh, no. But all right, let's go ahead and hop into the chat, guys. And then we'll get on our way to get our Wednesdays kicked off. And then we'll give the frog a couple more plays today. And then we'll enjoy our day. And I hope you guys got to bed at a decent hour last night. I was up a little late. Michael J. Love gifted a BCB membership. He did that right out the gates before the stream even started. Thank you, my brother. Sandal, please tell Powell to pump my bags. Yeah, if I had a direct line of communication, I'd ask him some stuff. Romano Fro, member for 3 months. BCB, you're the GOAT, my brother. Thank you, Romano. Thanks for the support, man. 3 months. Jonas Fugalis with the super chat says, hey, BCB, am I reading this right? XRD is holding historical lows. I don't know. It's a new coin, so we'll see. Gibbs, Lurkin, Merry Christmas, everyone. I guess I saw something on there on Twitter, like with Mariah Carey, and it was like, her image swapped from wearing like her witch hat. Like now we got the Mariah Carey in the Christmas outfit, right? She's always famous for, Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that. Man, my cousin loved Mariah Carey when I was growing up. Not really my jam, but my cousin just loved it. All right, her. Hugh D. Is there anything the XRP over total chart that could give us clues about XRP big breakouts that happen when the rest of the market is waddling? P.S. As it's November, what's your favorite Christmas song? I do enjoy singing Christmas songs. My wife probably knows the answer better than that because it's hard for me to come up with them off the top of my head, but like there's ones that I just spontaneously sing. I don't know. Let me think about it for a minute. As for XRP over total, I don't think I don't think so. I mean, I've stared at those before to see, is there anything that's like, that's how like using moving averages and stuff, like to guess with moving averages maybe, but I don't see anything. You have to look at the historical behavior. It's like I think it's more of like, hey, once the whole market's moving, do we have structures that are already saying that we can do that too, and then we can go? Right now, I think we just got to see total go. And if total goes, probably XRP kind of pulls back against total at that point, and then XRP goes later. So, one guy who hasn't done much is Ethereum. I think people are sleeping on Ethereum, and that will probably influence total. Dutch Crypto 873, thank you very much, says, why are you talking about retrace to 702 for Bitcoin now? You used to say retraces for after crashes, and we are in the disbelief phase of the Wall Street cheat sheet. Why do you go for retrace? It's a new bull market. I don't know if you watch very much of this channel, man. I've talked about it's not like I'm talking about it now. Like you're saying, why are you talking about Bitcoin to 702 for Bitcoin now? You used to say retraces are for after crashes. We're in the disbelief phase of the Wall Street cheat sheet. I don't know, man. I don't think you watch this channel a whole lot, man, at all. You're saying this is the disbelief. This is the disbelief phase. You're saying we're here? No, we're not. This is complacency, right? So that's complacency. And so the thing is, if the stock market's not going to go into a new high on a super cycle standpoint, this isn't your typical little retrace that happens right afterwards. This is a big retrace on a major super cycle for Bitcoin, because there would be a trend change happening in the United States stock market. So I don't know if I can go into all the details on that again, brother, but I feel like that's been beaten like a dead horse on this channel, of my thoughts on that. And that's in saying now, dude, this is something that's been said since before the top of the Bitcoin bubble pop. This has been since before the peak. So these kinds of questions will happen a lot, just so you know, coming up. And Dutch, I'm not just here to pick on you, buddy. I'm going to let you know this is what we're going to see a lot of, is that when going back into these retraces, it's going to become narrative of we're in a new bull market. All the content creators that benefited from selling you bearishness down here the whole time are now going to sell you bullishness up here. I will be the opposite. Hate me at the lows, being a bull at the lows, and then hate me in the retraces. It's fine. But that's going to be the thing, right? And so hopefully it breaks through retraces. I mean, hopefully it does, right? But my thoughts have been, we're not going to 12K. That's stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We're going back to retracement levels. And so we go back to retracement levels, and then, if the market wants to decide it wants to go higher than that because the stock market's going to rip and roar with it, that's cool. But this has been my thoughts. And, the thing that will be obvious on it, right? Like we've talked about, is like if the altcoins are ripping. If you're seeing altcoins ripping as Bitcoin's going back into a retracement, it's telling you the story. It's telling you the story that liquidity is going to be drying up for entry into Bitcoin, and that they're chasing higher yield. And so, like, if we see like the next meme coin mania, that's a pretty good reference point. The next time we see meme coins shooting big time, and I'm not talking about like Pepe. Pepe just had a little bounce back right now, but I'm talking about where it's that really, really extreme risk behavior, where there's new Ethereum contracts created every day for new memes, and people are throwing their money, like you saw them throwing it at that FBen guy over there on Twitter. Nobody knew who he was, but he, like, in a matter of a few days, made like $10 million in Ethereum because people were just throwing him. They got so loosey with their money. Those are typically marks of we're nearing the end. So if we start seeing that style behavior into the retracement levels of, altcoin surging, meme coin mania, those have been top markers. So if we get those into the retraces, that'll be the clear and obvious sign. If we don't end up seeing that, we see something like this, maybe so. Maybe we're just 2016ing this whole thing right now, and then we waddle in here for 7 months, breakout, and then it goes and hits its all-time high. That would be valid for this style, right? But if we get up higher, no. Right. I mean, you can't debate that this thing hasn't broken yet. So this thing is still working. But I just don't think the stock market is going to allow it. And the Bitcoin fantasy, the Bitcoin narrative and culture is that you're not tied to broader markets. You're 100% tied to broader markets. Whether you have a deviation that happens in a short-term time period or something like that, those things happen. But breaking out into new all-time highs, mandatory. That it's needed the stock market to go with it. So every bull run for Bitcoin has been during each one of these things, right? Here you go. You break through the great financial crisis high. There's your 2013 bull run. You break out here. Here's your 2017 bull run. You break out right here. There's your 2020, 2021 bull run. So they all happen upon breakouts of previous all-time highs. So if you're not going to get a breakout of a previous all-time high here in the stock market, why are you going to get a breakout in Bitcoin? You'll get a million reasons. Monetary debasement. People want sound money. It's so perfect. Bitcoin is so perfect and solves everything. Okay, but why does it break out with the stock market, right? So you're going to have to get a stock market breakout. Otherwise, what you just did is completed 5 waves, which we know this was the 3rd super cycle for Bitcoin since its inception, which would be, right? Super cycle 1, bear market, right? Bear market of 2014, 2015, 2016, super cycle, right? That's not technically correct, but 3 complete super cycles go up on BLX. There you go. There's your 3 different super cycles that have happened in here, right? All taking place with big liquidity injections happening in all markets. So if you're not going to get a big liquidity injection into all the markets, and if the stock market's going to roll over, how are you going to continue with Bitcoin? This time is different, or none of that matters, all that stuff, right? So if the stock market goes surging into a new all-time high, guess what? I'm on board. I am. If the stock market goes ripping into a new all-time high, guess what? I'm on board with Bitcoin doing it too. But otherwise, no. The idea has simply been retracement. Right? And so if you have 3 super cycles, Elliott wave theory states, and remember, all 3 of these super cycles are of the exact same size, or barely off, like really close percentage-wise. So if you have super cycle 1, super cycle 2, super cycle 3, that's 5 waves, right? So what do you get? A, B, C correction. And to understand, like I've said it many times, I've been like, hey, like $2,000 for Bitcoins. If that's the case, right? What have you seen over here with Solana? What did you see with, let's go here. Notice what Ethereum does, right? Here's your consolidation. There's your 4.236 extension. We break below. We break below here, right? That's like for Bitcoin. I don't know what chart I'm using at this point. Am I using the BLX? Is that what I'm using? Am I using this one? Okay, we're going to find it. We're going to get more organized. There we go. Right? Right, for Bitcoin, right, below that level. Wrong chart again. There we go. Below that level is down here, right? 2,000 to 3,000. Now everybody's fumbling over Solana, but what did Solana do? And this is what we said live during that time. I gotta use a different chart than Coinbase. How about Binance? Right? Breaks down below here and finds its support, and then now it's shuffling its way up. So it was like epic, right? It was like an epic opportunity for Solana, but nobody would hear it because they all buy into narratives, right? So that's why I'm saying I'm not going to buy into narratives for Bitcoin. I never have. Like in the first year, I got it. I'm like, oh, this is so glorious. Nothing changed my mind more than when we went into the 2021 bull run and the nonsense I saw in there. The Michael Saylor stuff, the Anthony Pompliano Bitcoin to $5 million stuff, and the insanity of the market and how unreal it was, and how the idea of Bitcoin, and now Bitcoiners' bull thesis is that it has to be an ETF. Like that's their bull thesis now. ETF. Like that's not what Bitcoin was. Like the narrative is so lost on what Bitcoin is: store of value, digital gold, ETF. Michael Saylor owning like over 1% of the supply, who could dump it to nothing. It's like I don't buy any of the narratives, but I know that these things can happen. And so if that's the case, right, if we're going to get down here, it's possible. This is the reality though, like, right? It's been holding these things, but I'm not going to ignore the retracement levels. And it's been my idea since the beginning of retracement levels, and I'm going to take action on them. You're welcome to do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you to hit buy, hit sell. But I took it on the chin nonstop for the idea of us going to retracement levels. And I'm going to take it on the chin at this point too. All the 12Kers are going to say, you're stupid. We're going to all-time highs. That is fine. How have you been doing? How was 100K? How was 12K? Fine. Y'all do whatever you want. But I'm sticking to it. Okay. Love you, Dutch crypto. Molly 86. Hey, I haven't had breakfast today, guys. How you doing? Molly 86. Hey, BCB, what's 4.23 extension for all of these coins? I don't know, man. You could do them yourself. That's not fair. You're fully capable of doing that. Molly, I teach you how to do that stuff. I can't pull up all these different altcoins and do that and then convert that to US dollars, man. With over 2,000 people watching. Very simple. You could do that. Go to charts.cointrader.pro and you can do that in under 1 minute. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But, just like kind of like, I don't mean to be a jerk and not do your request, but there's 2,100 people in here and we're going to pull up a bunch of altcoins and measure their 4.236 extensions. And, anybody, I always kind of tell that to anybody, don't waste your money, because I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to be a jerk and take your money and get a super chat from you, and then I didn't follow through with what you asked for me. When people ask a lot about altcoins and to pull them up and look at them, it's like I'm in an interesting situation because there are 2,000 people watching. It's very bizarre. I'm very lucky. It's insane. I don't take it for granted. People work their whole lives to try to get it to where like 50 people are watching them. It's insane that 2,000 people watch me. But I also have to take that into mind, like on a little super chat and then pulling up a bunch of altcoins and measuring extensions and stuff like that. So it's just because of the situation that it is. I missed your super chat earlier. Oh, wait, you said, hey, BCB. Okay, no, I already got that. All right. Oscar Hernandez gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you, my brother. Oscar's one of the biggest supporters of the channel here every single day. Thank you, Oscar. Arms, new member, welcome. Dylan S, new member, welcome. The DP says, hi, mate. Best course ever. I got all your material printed and literally covered my room. Best posters ever. Get the BCB course. Change your future. Okay. Well, with that, I won't miss that opportunity to bring up bcbacker.com. That's cool. What he's talking about is there's PDFs you can print out in here that come with a lot of this stuff, so you can print them out. There was some work put into those PDFs with lots, infographics and write-ups and stuff in there. So I'm glad you like it. It's $39 one time, no subscriptions, of course. Check it out, BC Backer. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that, DP. I'm glad you like it. Oscar Hernandez super chatted, said, hit the like 702 crew. I wonder if I'm going to catch up to the point where people are like, hey, why haven't you done the frog yet? Thank you for everything you do. Emotional support really matters. Enjoy your Wednesday, guys. From Jonas Fugalis, who's a member for 3 months. Ski Rich says, you're the man, BCB. You got me through that 200-day range without getting washing machined. I heard you say ETH is looking good right now. What's your short term? It's got to, we bring ETH up often. Here, let's do this. Right? I mean, it's essentially this. What you're looking at on total market cap is essentially the same thing you're looking at over here on Ethereum. Right? It's a Wyckoff accumulation schematic. You're working on last point of support and trying to get a breakout in here. I mean, I think that's it. And I think that's why we also see the same schematic over here in total market cap as well, waiting for that breakout to come. I think, there's a lot of assets that are underrated, but the one that's been taking it on the chin is Ethereum lately. It's because Bitcoiners that's what they do, right? They point to number 2 and say, Bitcoin's the best. I think Ethereum is going to have its day, and Bitcoiners are just loud right now. That's what they always do. But yeah, that was a spicy time period. We go back through these and make sure I didn't miss anybody because I feel like it skips stuff. All right, Big Shroom says, I think Jay Powell is going to say XRP to the moon today. A little birdie told me. Yeah. I bet there's like 8 YouTube videos out there who have speculated that. Must see. Boom. XRP Kidotech. What's up, XRP Kidotech? What's up? He says, thank you, BCV, for just being a cool dude and your awesome TA. In your recent R&D expedition, can you add XDC to your inflation/tokenomics research? We can pull it up. Yeah, so it looks like there was some type of token unlock that happened at one point. Maybe? I don't know. Like 12% of tokens were unlocked at some point in 2022, or there's just a bad API issue on it happening. It seems like the current rate of inflation is pretty small, like less than 1%, if that's accurate. You guys would probably know better than me if you guys follow XDC. It seems like it's less than 1%. Again, I don't own any XDC. I got nothing against those guys. I've met a lot of them in person. Like, I literally hung out with these guys. Like Quincy, I've met him on 2 separate occasions. I've even gone out to eat with Quincy. And I went on 6th Street and met those guys, and they just hung out with them one night also in Austin. So it's not like I don't know these guys or I think anything's wrong with them and anything like that. It's just I don't know enough about them, and I'm spread so thin on everything that I got. So whatever, man. I mean, it may be the next big thing. I don't know. But thank you, XRP Kidotech. Josh Drew says, Marty BCB, thank you for all that you do. We appreciate it. Will you release the developer data for those who can't afford the premium Substack subscription? Happy Wednesday, my dudes. Hit the like button. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably discuss all that stuff, but that thing to compile, to figure all that stuff out prior to putting the whole newsletter together, it was probably 40 hours worth of work to get everything figured out and like make all these connections of how this data has, and the thought processes had to be put into all that stuff too, to then say, all right, I think I've made a pretty big discovery here, and then to write it all up. And it wasn't something like a lot of times when we come on the channel, I'll be like, hey, look, these are these correlations that we're seeing happening in the market. point those things out. This was a research thing that I did. Even on Saturday night, I was up till 2:00 in the morning, and we're talking. That was a long thing. The reality is, even if not, I mean, the point of it. I mean, this is just the point of it. And you can see this. If you want to see the correlations, you want to see the case study put together, you could check out blockchainbacker.substack.com. But I'm telling you, there does seem to be a very important correlation between developer activity, which I think I've been trying to say for the last 6 months. And we're not just talking developer growth and developer decline, but actual developer activity. If you have a basket of assets that have higher development activity versus having a basket of assets that are in the top 20 by market cap, there does seem to be a correlation of better performance amongst the ones with the higher developer activity. And the reason why this is important to recognize is because of the dynamic shifts that happen in the market between 2017 and 2021. Whether those dynamic shifts will continue moving forward, the best thing we could do is say is maybe they will. But in 2017, if you would have bought the top 10 and just like had an average DCA in 2015 and 2016, by the end of the first alt season, you would have 70x'd your portfolio with the top 10. And like literally 9 out of 10 of them over 25x'd. And your average was 70x between the top 10 by market cap. Not even looking at dev activity, not looking at anything. Hey, let me just go to CoinMarketCap and just throw my money at the top 10. That's what worked in 2016, 2015 to head into 2017. But then you look at 2021 and you say, man, the numbers were much smaller, right? That doesn't change that the numbers were smaller. That's just what the averages were. They were way down. You're down. You had one alt season and you had, if you average accumulated during, 2019, 2020, the average return is about 12x if you sold the peak of the market for really the top 20. But we do go through here and we do a case study and we say, okay, well, what if it wasn't the top 20 that you were going after? Because that obviously worked in 2015 and 2016. The market knew how to reprice itself during a bear market to wash out any type of crud. But in 2018 and 2019, the market did not wash itself out of crud. As we headed into the bull market, still lots of stuff that was in major declines was somehow still priced, even way in the top 10. And then trying to say, well, what would have been a better strategy in 2019 and 2020 to head into 2021, and trying to say, developer data shows it. So high development activity, right? And so the key to take away from that, and I don't know the future, right? I don't know if the stock market is going to provide a big problem for crypto. I'm sure hoping and cheering that we go into some big, fantastic, beautiful run in the altcoin market, right? And so conceptually saying that if there was to be one, right? If there was to be one, what set of assets tends to do the best? And it tends to be the ones that are with high development activity and not the top ones by market cap. Because the ones that are listed on CoinMarketCap from peak to bottom, top 10, top 20, they are not accurately representing users, and they're not representing activity. It's poor. It's bad. So you need to go find resources and figure out what are the ones that people are working on. What are the ones that have excitement around them, have social engagement, and right that developers are actively contributing to the chains constantly with full-time developers. That seems to be the very important metric. And still, even in that circumstance, it doesn't give you a 100% hit rate like you had in 2017. It was a 90% hit rate, right? That's what we said, 9 out of 10, right? There was one that only 5x'd from 2015, 16 into 2017. The other 9 out of 10 did. They all 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200x'd. Giving you an average, even if you include that one that only 5x'd in 2017, still your average of the top 10 was 70x. Right. So even if you go off development activity and developer activity, you're not going to get that type of hit rate. That time is gone. right? And I brought this up yesterday talking about like batting averages. Will you, in baseball, if you have a 3.33 batting average, that means you get a hit 1 out of every 3 times you come up to bat, and you're considered an absolutely phenomenal baseball player. Literally every baseball team is going to like sign you. You'll have contracts knocking on your door nonstop if you're a free agent. And that means you get out 2 out of 3 times. You get out twice as much as you hit, but you are considered phenomenal. And I have to move forward to that mindset of, the market batting average is about 200, which is 20%. What can I do to increase my odds based on what happened last time to 300, 333 or, 400? Is there something I can do? And so this isn't going to bring you to that 100, 1,000 batting average where you hit 100% batting average where you hitting perfect. But it draws the whole your whole basket up, right? Is what happened. And I don't know if it will in the future, but it's what happened. Is that, if you would have, 5x'd by owning the top 10, you would 10x by owning high development activity coins. And so all those numbers are shown in here to show how those differences in there. And we remove anomalies, like if you remove stuff that like was like wicked crazy, like Solana, or if you remove BNB and you say, let's like kind of thin these numbers out and remove the extremes, and you could still see in there the development activity numbers are what mattered. And so that's really the point. So if you want to go through all the numbers and see the case study, that's what's in the newsletter. But the main point of it, and I'm telling you, is to do your research and figure out where is the development activity happening in crypto. Who are the top coins that are still continuing to get activity on them? And even if they are the coins with the top activity on them, it doesn't guarantee they're going to be the ones to take off and go moon and go YOLO. But having a basket of those outperformed having a basket of the top 10 and the rankings of CoinMarketCap, or having a basket of those did better than owning a basket of the top 20. That's really the main point. And so I'm giving you that. But it was a long weekend for me. And over the coming weeks, we'll go through that. And so we go through this, and then we go through it and say, hey, here are the ones that are currently by top 20. What are the ones that seem to have the highest development activity currently? And these numbers are always changing. So, all right, that's enough time on that. Thanks, Josh. Andy Philpott gifted 5 BCB memberships. My man, thank you very much. All right, so Bitcoin's back at 34,600. Ethereum, this is the other Ethereum. There we go. There's Ethereum at 1806. XRP still over 60 cents right now. Stock market, how are you doing, stock market? Dow's up 162 points. NASDAQ's up 128 points. We're getting a little bit of green. Coinbase leading the way. That's always a good sign. S&P's up 29. So we're up about 1% for the NASDAQ, 0.75% for the S&P, and 0.5% for the Dow. This is delayed. My NDXT, it's 15 minutes delayed. It shows us at flat, but this pop-up all just recently happened here in the last few minutes for the stock market. So we'll see how NDXT does catch up. But Bitcoin back up there at 34,647 currently right now, with the total market cap still button, not out yet, still button up here against these highs right now as the grind continues on for Bitcoin. Coming off of a crushing, killer October. So thank you, Andy, for the 5 memberships, guys. And guys, if you guys get gifted, man, say thanks. Like, I'm grateful. I don't ask for the memberships. I don't like push that. That is a community-driven thing in here where people give those things out. That's nothing I ever bring up. It's a insanely amazing thing about this community. We started Markets in the Morning like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, or something like that. And I started this thing with no expectations, and it turned into this community thing. It's turned into more than this. We have a 702 crew. I've met you guys in real life. Like that all is from Markets in the Morning, right? Pat, Oscar, right? Ryan, right? That's all from this. So it's been amazing. Digital Tie. Wait, nope, I missed somebody. Sheldon. Been here so long and we feel so close. Thanks again for everything over the years. Thank you, Sheldon. Dr. Ty says, we are not hype enough for an exciting Wednesday. All right. It's been enough. I've been rambling too much. Shut your mouth, BCB. 1.5x.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
All right, there we go. Turn it up. There's some hype. We're all raving. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ty. And then, man, right after that, you gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thanks, man. 42 Pros says, what are your thoughts on Uniswap working on last point of support with the daily bullish divergence showing up? 2-year, 3-year dev data looks good. Thanks again for all of the content, brother. Yes, let me see. Let me look at the dev data on Uniswap. I'm not gonna pull up their current activity. Just I don't want. It's gonna take me a minute to find it. Let's do A to Z. Okay, so they're down to 20 full-time devs. You know, I have this threshold, like, and it's totally mine. It doesn't mean anything, but that's what I do. It's like 29. I don't know why I use the number 29, but I do as total full-time developers. So they're below like this threshold number that I have for 29. And my 29 may be stupid. Maybe 20 is completely fine. They're down 9% year over year. They're down, and yeah, they're up. For the 2-year, they're up, but a lot of stuff is up for the 2 years. But they're down 9%, which, to be fair, like my threshold, and I don't know what the right number to use is right now because of the environment we're in the market. That like we're down 24% year over year on full-time devs in crypto entirely, which is unlike any other time period before. You even have Bitcoin down 9% year over year. You have Ethereum down 18% year over year. That's never been seen before. So Uniswap's down 9%, right? So that's like right in line with Bitcoin, right? Well, what makes sense about the last year? The last year has been total garbage, right? You bring in high prices, you bring in more devs, you bring in more activity and more excitement. We just haven't had that this year, right? That would be different, right? This is your last year, right? This is your last year. Where's the excitement? There is none. It's been garbage. So like even in here in 2019, 2018, like there were big balances to bring excitement back in, to bring devs back in, and like these moments, you know, just washing machine. Not this year, right? Not this past year. This one's been brutal, so you haven't seen a lot of devs come in here. So like, is it in line with Bitcoin at least? It is at least in line with Bitcoin. I think Uniswap's probably going to move with the rest of the market. The thing I don't know is the Uniswap token. I've used Uniswap. I didn't need the Uniswap token to do it. So do we need a Uniswap token? I don't know. You know, like, is there a utility factor on Uniswap? I think that's the problem I have. I don't know what's going to drive value of the Uniswap token. Outside of, you know, just pure speculation, which is okay. It's fine. But I don't get it. Is it used for anything? Or is it just a token that says Uniswap on it? I don't know. But I think it's just moving with the market. And it's like back at its lows, which a lot of stuff is, which I think is fine. But yeah, I don't know. The chart's attractive. But right now for me, it's focusing on like, all right, what are the things that can like all have attractive charts and then have that like developer stuff behind them too, right? That's kind of what's I'm looking at right now, right? And I'm not saying it's going to go today in any way. I'm not going to say it's going to go anyway. But for those who were here in 2019 and 2020, I always said Cardano was like one of my biggest bags. Like my number one bag was XRP and my number two bag was Cardano. The And look, I'm not saying it's going to happen today, okay? I'm not. It could just chill down here for a month. Who knows? But the developer activity on Cardano is still through the roof. Through the roof. Who's that guy on Twitter? His name's Dan. Dan Gambardello. Dan, Crypto Capital Venture, right? He's like always talking about Cardano, but he gets crapped on nonstop because that's what he talks about the most. I feel for that guy because he's convicted in what he says, and the data backs him up. So I'm still excited about Cardano still. All right, I'm moving on. Cash me outside. Thank you very much, my man. Gifted a BCB membership. Thank you, sir. Dutch Crypto 873. Thanks, BCB. Following you for 2 years and appreciate all your help. Thanks for explaining retrace question before. If Bitcoin retraces 702 only, can XRP 5 to 10 still be accepted? Love you too, man. That's going to be, that's going to be the major question, right? Yeah, I know. I gave you a hard time on the retrace thing. So that's the thing I've been saying for years is like, that's the thing I'm looking for. If the altcoins go bazonkers into Bitcoin's retracement, that's the clear signal to me. That's the clear signal to me. Like, I got to run. Take the money and run. Because that's historically the time it shouldn't be happening. So if we see like a divergence happening there, where total 2, like, okay, so I'll take this off for a sec. Let's go to a different chart. Let's go to Binance so I can get sloppy on. There we go. And then we'll add total 2. Okay. If something happens, right, to Bitcoin goes, and then finally total goes because it has to wait, and then finally total breaks out because it's one step behind Bitcoin. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. I should have used 2 different colors when I did this, but that would have taken forever. Once there becomes this point where Bitcoin rolls over and the altcoin market continues much higher beyond that, like this, see how we pull down to a new low and then we just go back into retracement, but the altcoin market continues one more leg up. Here you can see examples of this right here. Notice how we continue up with Bitcoin, and then notice the pull down in here, and see how we continue higher in the altcoin market. And then if you go back to 20, so you see that dynamic of what I'm trying to draw there, right? Notice we keep going. That's the marker at the end, right? If that marker shows up, that's it. At least my thoughts are looking at Coinbase, looking at 2017, right? There's your same dynamic, right? Lower low retracement, but we continue higher, right? This will be the marker that I'm looking for. Whatever XRP does during that time period, that'll be whatever my thoughts are. If we finally get the full-blown go time, yep, let's go. But if that marker shows up in this market, if that marker shows up and XRP doesn't get there, it's not going to get there. And the thing that will be hard about something like that, what will be difficult, let's see the timing of like Ethereum Classic. Because we know Bitcoin can move at this, or we know XRP can move at this velocity as well. We could be getting back to these retracements and like, oh no, it's not going to get there. It's not going to make it. What Ethereum Classic did was it was sitting at its like, let's see if we can go back here. It really jacks up my chart here. It's right here, and it's going to jack it up again, but we'll do it. Ethereum Classic has gotten back to its all-time high. Meanwhile, we're already seeing this dynamic massively show up here. It's already massively happening in the altcoin market that like, okay, it's already setting this new high and Bitcoin's not, and Bitcoin's back into the retracements. We see all that stuff happening. And then in a matter of 2 days, the ending of Ethereum Classic is a tripling in price. It goes from, $45 to $50 to boom, $175 and hits the 4.236 extension in 2 days. And that would be a challenge in that time period for XRP if it pulls off something like that. And it's not that it's impossible for XRP to move at that type of velocity because it can go 100% in 1 day, no problem. These types of things happen, no problem. But if we get back up there into the, and let's look at this one. Like, did this like happen on the literal day too? I mean, it hits it like on the day, right? So we're like not there. We're not there yet. Where are we at here? Take it off a log. All right, so we're like still down here, and we go from $2 to $3.30. Just in those last 2 days, right? And so I mean, this is all in the last week, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, right? So in 8 days, we go from $1 to $3. That's going to be the hard part. You know what I mean? That patience factor. That is it going to get it? Oh no, is it going to get it? Boom, and then it's over. I would not suspect anything differently. So something like that, it's like you're kind of like, oh, we're excited, we're all up in here, we're hanging out in here, but it's like, is it going to do it? And then in 3 days, and then right back down. That's how this market has behaved before, at least. So okay. Thank you, Dutch. And then we have Dutch Kissling, who says developer data plus if the project or token was released since the last bull run seemed to give the biggest returns. At least so was the case the last run. Yeah. Yeah, you mean like a new coin? Yeah, that's the hard part, right? How do you measure it? Like Solana, right? Solana was your biggest hitter, but you would have had no data to go on early on. But I mean, you had stuff to go with afterwards, right? Like, if you kept that stuff in mind, right? If you're like, okay, I'm going to use this rule where if I see total 2 continue another leg up while Bitcoin does not, that tells me it's the final run, right? I don't want to use this. I want to use this. We're using charts.cointrader.pro. So on this type of stuff, when coins are a little bit newer, I like to go back and use this website, charts.cointrader.pro, because it's going to give me more historical data than we are going to see on TradingView, because TradingView is only giving us the charts of a particular exchange. So like this Solana chart, this is from Binance. It's showing us the whole chart in here. But if I do here, Solana on, oh, darn. Okay, that's Binance. But on the top, there's Coinbase. Notice that we don't have all that data of this whole period in here. That's because we're only going to see the date that it was listed here on the exchange for the Coinbase chart. But for the Binance chart, it was there since the very beginning, right? So if I'm having a hard time really finding this kind of chart, the thing I always do is I head over to charts.cointrader.pro, and that's where it's going to get it to me, because this is just going to use CoinMarketCap's data. But yeah, so I mean, in here, we could have clearly seen, hey, we have 3 impulses that have happened in here. We're now seeing that total 2 is exceeding another leg up beyond what Bitcoin is doing, we know we've gone a 4.236 extension in here. Let's see. I've never measured this. Let's see if it fits. Very close, isn't it? This would have been it, right? So I don't know. You wouldn't have not been able to measure this wave. This would be an immeasurable wave. That's the challenge with new data, is that you would, and then we got the thing. Thank you, your friendly NP. Once that disappears, I can show you because it's on top of my stuff. All right. In here, there was nothing measurable, right? But then we could have measured for the next one, and we could have measured for the next one. So with those new charts, you're kind of like, you just kind of taking that gamble and letting the ride go and seeing what happens beyond that. And then, of course, lots of new stuff we just never hear about ever again because it just goes, right? New stuff does not always do that. New stuff just goes, more stuff. Most new stuff goes off the chart, dead. Okay. Your friendly NP. Oh, and he was saying, thank you for thank you for the membership. This is the best crew out there. Cool. Very cool. Welcome. All right. So that's where we're at today, guys. Bitcoin, what are you actually sitting at? Yeah, 34,620. XRP, you still maintaining 60 cents? Yeah, you are. Near is the big winner today, up 10%. Solana is up 6%. Solana has now crossed over $40.76. The big FOMO trade out there right now in crypto. I think that covers it. How is the stock market doing? Dow Jones Industrial Average up 190 points with a decent sized bounce happening in here. Coinbase is still leading the way. Not quite, but we got quite a few of them are up 2% today, with Coinbase up 1.97%. Here's our heat map currently right now. Let's see if this thing updates. There you go. Very green out there in the market today, as today is going to be Fed Day. So you guys are going to hear from me at 1:55 p.m. Eastern time. We'll start a live stream that'll last about an hour and a half, and then we'll enjoy the rest of our Wednesdays, guys. Mark C is rank number 100, the minimum for discussion here. That's subjective to me. I get to be the subjective decider. But yeah, pretty much, like, unless if I'm real familiar with what's under the 100, maybe it'll get brought up. Like, there's a chance something under 100 could. But the thing I'm not going to do is, with 2,000 people watching, is have people have their altcoins. Here's a $1.99 super chat. Show my little $30 million market cap coin everywhere and have the audience pump it. But you know what I mean? Because you're just dumping on people. And so I have to be real protective of that. And I don't know how often that happens. I don't know how many people have that intention. I would assume when people do that, 90% of them don't have that intention. But there are people who do. And so I'm just trying to be careful about it. I'd rather you guys just not super chat saying, hey, can you pull up my altcoin? I'd rather you guys not do it. Just so one, I don't like that situation. And two, I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to be like, hey, I gave you a super chat and you just ignored me. It's not what I want. Hamid Reza says, hey, BCB, I'm in Iran and I can't pay with Visa or MasterCard. Is there any chance you can pay in crypto for your videos? We're talking about bcbacker.com. It's through Teachable, so no, unfortunately not. I'd have no problem with it. I really have no problem with it. Just no, Teachable doesn't accept that. Do believe they do PayPal, though, if you have PayPal. I don't know if you have that. So, all right. That's it. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I don't know if Oscar is still here, but out of just dedication and appreciation for Oscar Hernandez, we're going to give the screwed up and chopped version a run. We'll go through our outros, guys, and then I'll catch in with you again there at 1:55 p.m. Eastern time.
It is Wednesday, my
All right, there we go, guys. Up day in the stock market. You got some altcoins running. You got Near really taking off today. You got Solana still continuing up. Oscar gifted. He still is here. He gifted a BCB membership. Thank you, Oscar. That was for you, my dude. Happy Wednesday, everybody. And Bitcoin's still fighting. Total market cap still fighting. And just kind of the washing machine happened between altcoins, just like I talked about in yesterday's video, that these things are just kind of swapping sides with each other. Until that total market cap can get itself a decent sized breakout is when I think we see everything actually get to go. Potential for a catalyst today as total market cap sits there at the height of it. Also potential for the catalyst to say not today and push it back a little bit. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll live stream it, of course, and we'll watch the charts the whole time as it does happen. Otherwise, you guys, of course, could check out bcbacker.com for 40 plus videos of me and over 11 hours of content in here that are recorded by me. They're very similar to my YouTube channel. It's $39 with no recurring subscription fees, one time, and it's yours. And then, of course, you could check out the blockchainbacker.substack.com if you'd like to read and hear my beautiful, silky smooth voice read you the 30-minute, longest ever. This should not be the expectation on how long these things are. They're usually 12 to 18 minutes or something like that. 30 minutes was insane. But that's how much was put into this one. Otherwise, guys, I hope you have a great day. I'll check in with you again in just a couple of hours. Here, I'll show you this exactly. If you don't know when 2 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Eastern time is your time, that's in 3 hours and 12 minutes from right now. So set your alarms on your phones. Say, hey, BCB is going live. I'll be going live 5 minutes before that. So I'll be going live in 3 hours and 7 minutes from right now. Otherwise, guys, have a wonderful day. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support every single day, and I appreciate you just being here for me and the community that we've built. So see you later. Okay. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.